everyone, this is Guru Furtrado of the Pekiti-Tirsia Kali system, and for this quick bit I'm going to show you an exercise that I've been teaching my students. It's a striking pattern that involves fluid diagonals 1 and 2, an upward strike we call panastas, and then transitioning into a sungkete number 2. Now, as I say, we start with the fluid 1 and 2. This is what we call fluid because it starts from one side of the body and then follows through across the center line, ends up on the other side, and then same thing on the 2. Okay. The panastas in our system, we have obviously the angle 3 where you hit with the primary edge, but then we also have what we call panastas where you turn your wrist so that you hit with the false edge, and then after you complete the panastas you transition into what we call sungkete, which is the angle 2 sungkete. That's typically learned from your basic knife mechanics, where you start with a number 1 thrust, number 2, see that's the motion right there, and then finally you complete it with a number 3 and you come back to your starting position. The exercise: 1, 2, panastas, and then sungkete thrust. And then you see how you start and end in the same position, so you just rinse and repeat. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go to the other side. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, while you are performing this combination of strikes, pay attention to what your left hand is doing. Okay? Now, it's not doing much, obviously. So what we recommend is either you just keep it here on your solar plexus, that way it's completely out of the way. And also, right, if you were doing this panastas, especially if you're adding a little bit more power right behind your strikes, then you can, right, you can stop the follow through of your whole arm with your hand, okay, with your free hand. This is why you see a lot of this, right, tapping the biceps kind of stuff. Okay, it's there, it's ready for you to, right, put to use, instead of just kind of letting it dangle and it's, you know, you don't quite know what to do with it. Okay, and if it's not doing anything, let it do nothing here. Later on, of course, if you have more experience and you actually have some level of ambidexterity, then you can move your hand out of the way, right? Make it more proactive, as if you're doing your knife and dagger, sword and dagger combos, or you have 2 swords, right? So both hands are moving. So you get out of the way. See? Or again, if you're not quite there yet, then just leave it here. Perform the strikes. Okay? And develop a good habit of always knowing where your other hand is versus just kind of letting it dangle. What I like to call a dead arm syndrome, or just kind of, right? It's like a vestigial part of your body is not doing anything. Later on, you can add the finger jabs or the tap. Okay, tap, 1, 2, tap, panastas, thrust. 1, 2, tap, panastas, and then thrust. Tap, 1, 2, tap, panastas, and thrust. Okay. The next part of the progression, I guess, would be to start offsetting the timing. So you could start with a relatively even timing all the way through, especially if you're just, you're just learning this, and again, you are trying to be more focus on being smooth and clean, okay, not rushing through it, then everything tends to be more of an even timing, right? So the next step would be to offset the timing a little bit. Now we're just focusing on the striking mechanics, okay? There's no footwork included just yet. Can't throw everything in there all at once, or it'll just get confusing, right? So we're just going to focus on the striking mechanics, and we're gonna be static for this presentation. So like I said, you want to start to think about offsetting your timing. So you start off even and then maybe speed up a little on the panastas. It's pretty easy because all you have to do is whip, right? Whip that upward. 1, 2, boom. And then transition to your thrust. Then repeat. 1, 2, boom. And thrust. 1, 2, 3. So if you were counting beats, 1, 2, 3, 3 is gonna end up being the thrust, right? Because you are essentially doing the panastas like half a beat faster. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See that? 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. And afterwards, you can do this with the footwork. And obviously, there's a number of different variations it can come up with. You can even do this switching hands. This is how I started teaching this to my students as a warm-up. Okay, 1, 2, anastas, thrust, fluid to switch. 1, 2, anastas, thrust, and then fluid to switch. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I hope this is informative to you. See you in the next one.